Good afternoon. Sorry it's been a while since I posted the video. And excuse the hair. It's looking a bit of a mess today. Anyway, I am a mum of two. I have a 5-year-old son and a little boy who is 3 months today but was born prematurely, so is actually 5 weeks old, aren't you? And you're 6 weeks on Sunday. Yeah. He's got very strong neck control, so he's sitting in his bumbo, which I put him in yesterday. He's not napping very much today because he likes to be awake with mummy. He's currently in leap 1. If you like baby content, mostly baby content, to be honest, because my children are my life, aren't they? Yeah. And I'm hoping to post at least once a week at the moment, just because he's so young, and things can be a bit chaotic, can't they? Yeah. So here he is, he's sitting right next to me, aren't you? Let's try him. Sorry about the camera, I'm still getting used to this new thing. If he gets grumpy, I'll have to go. But there he is. Say hi. Say hi. Say hello. Oh, sorry, what was that? He's quite hard because he's like down on the floor. And my phone is on charge as well because my phone's always running out of battery. But yeah, here he is. Hello. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to everybody. Tired, aren't you? Yeah, I know you're tired because you should still nap longer. Yeah, so today is Tuesday, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty good today, to be honest. Pretty positive. Let's just sort this out so you can see us. Little Jolie's just looking at me. Him in the camera a little bit. So yeah, we're just we've got like the sensory bits out today. These little bits come in the mum and baby box I get, and he really likes grabbing them. He's kind of getting into holding on to things, but he still needs to get his grip stronger. He's not obviously reaching for things, but I've got little bits like this little Fisher Price phone. This came in the mum and baby box last month. It's like a wooden rattle with a bell in it. And then I bought one of those sensory blankets, and it's a sensory bag actually, and it was on Facebook, eBay, sorry, and little man, and it was very good value, and it came with something like this, didn't it? It came with something like this, and this, and this, and it came with like a feather and the fire blanket. He likes holding on to that, don't you? And then it came with like a scarf, a green colour, a couple of like feathers, and it came with some bubbles, and it came with one of these little rattle things. Yeah. Do you want to hold that one? And wow, look! Are you shaking it? Are you shaking it? So yeah, he's just been fighting his naps a bit. Oh, and also, sorry, it came with a couple of glow sticks as well. I think it was £6 or £7 on eBay, which I thought was perfect because some of them are really expensive. But you might get a bit grumpy because he's very tired, aren't you? So yeah, we've just been doing that for the last 5-10 minutes, haven't we? Yeah. So yeah, obviously he came on the 15th of December. Now, I was 32 weeks and 2 days. So obviously this became quite a big shock to me. Yeah, if he does stop fussing, I will have to move the camera and move positions, but at the moment he's quite happy, aren't you? Yeah. Probably a better idea to do it when the baby is asleep, but the baby hasn't slept much in the day, and when he does sleep in the morning, I tend to get my cleaning jobs done. Okay, so basically he came at 32 and 3 days. I was 32 and 2. Yeah, I was. Yeah. Basically, my symptoms really, I think I put a video up of when I went to Primark to do a bit of Christmas shopping, and I think I said I felt quite tired, and obviously being in the third trimester, you don't really think anything of it. But yeah, I had a lot of pain down below, a lot of heaviness, you know, thinking, oh, you know, yeah, I just had a lot of pain, but I thought it was because I needed to basically relax a bit, but clearly it wasn't. So always go with your body and your gut instinct. I know it's hard when you've got another one to concentrate on your pregnancy. That's what I found, and it went so quick. But I wasn't feeling right. I was feeling really, really tired, like extremely tired, to the point where I was in tears. I was like, I can't do this. There's no way I can have another baby if I'm this tired. And yeah, obviously there was more to it. But come out of there. What are you doing? Are you trying to eat it? Are you trying to eat it? Are you trying to eat it? So I have to show you that. Yeah, so here you go. Are you trying to eat it? He's literally trying to. It's quite hard to put us both in it, isn't it? It's quite hard to put us both in it because we are. You're low. Oops. You're low, and I'm up quite up high. So yeah, basically let's change this. Oh, honestly, this is really hard to film while you're on charge. There we go. Okay, so yeah, my waters went about 10:30 at night. I just put Ruben to bed, and we were literally, I was not doing anything strenuous. I was sitting on the sofa, really chilled out. Sorry, excuse me if you can hear my washing machine, but as you know, mums always have washing on. And yeah, my waters went, and I said to my partner, I said, oh my god, I said, my waters are gone. I said, and I feel, you know, and he was like, you sure? He said, what, a little bit? I went, no, a lot. Like, I was absolutely soaked, and I stood up and the back of my pyjama bottoms were soaked, and I was just like, oh my god, like, this is quite serious. But I don't think I quite got it at the time. I don't think I took it quite seriously, really. I didn't have any pains or anything, so I was just a bit like, yeah. And so yeah, we ran triage, and triage said, right, you know, come down straight away, and we'll check, you know, and see what's happening. Are you in any pain? Is there any bleeding? And I said no. So we raced down. Our local hospital, Eastbourne, doesn't deal with much, and I think currently now their maternity service is actually suspended due to lack of staffing and COVID and everything like that, which is a real shame for people that want to have a natural birth. But because I had emergency C-section, I was always going to go down the route of going to the Hastings. Yeah, and so yeah, went to Hastings, which is called the Conquest Hospital, which is about 40 minutes from us, so not really ideal, but there we go. So quickly drove there. Wasn't really in any pain. I was a little bit in shock. We rang my mum-in-law to come and sit with Reuben, but obviously he was asleep and none more the wiser than what was going on. And we got to the hospital, and we got sent to Muriel's ward by the triage, who you call. They basically phoned them and said, look, she's coming down now. So I did. I went down there, and it wasn't too long. I think I was sitting on the chair. I walked in there as well, got in the lift and everything. Went in there, and it was a lady, and she put me on the bed, and then they had a lovely healthcare assistant that was like, oh, your waters are gone. Oh my God, how many weeks gone are you? And then you start thinking, oh, okay, this is quite serious. And they said, oh, we're going to do a spectrum. We're going to get the man doctor to Brandy off to do this. I hope you don't mind. And I'm like, oh God, what is a spectrum? Didn't have that before, don't think. Probably did, but don't remember. And I wasn't in any pain, to be honest, at all. But the waters were still coming. And then the spectrum, they said, you're not dilated at all. But obviously we're going to keep you overnight on Frankshaw ward. No, on the labour ward, sorry. Because your waters are gone. So I got a lovely side room, which was nice, on my own. I had to wait quite a few hours for them to bring me a bed. Didn't I? And they did bring me a bed. And I stayed there, and partner went home because they said, well, there's no point you staying here, nothing's happening, you know, you get back. And obviously I had my other son anyway, so I wanted him to go back anyway. So yeah, he went. I was kind of none the wiser. I don't think I quite realised what was going to happen. They said, we're going to give you some steroid injections because we want to give the baby the best chance of breathing. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'll have whatever the baby needs. So they gave me one, and I think they said, we'll give you another one. I think it was 12 hours later. So they said, you know, potentially you could be going home within the next 24 hours. You know, that's how they kind of made it sound. To me anyway, I think just to try and make me relax. And then I had the consultants come and see me, and they said, anything else? And I said, no, I've still had my waters leaking a bit, but nothing else. And they said, okay, well, you know, you've had your steroid injections, we've started antibiotics, because obviously you're at risk of infection. And I said, oh, it's my birthday on the 15th of December. I said, do you think I'll get to go home? And they said, well, the percentage of you going into labour drops hugely after 24 hours, so there's a chance, you know, you could go home and celebrate your birthday. And I was like, oh good, you know, I'll get to go home. That's what I had in my head anyway. Yeah, and they scanned me, they checked, they said, oh, there's still a little bit of water there, not very much, but baby seems happy. Obviously they kept me on the monitoring thing, I forgot to say, monitoring his heartbeat and everything. And everything was really, really, really good. He was happy, no concerns with him. My blood pressure was okay, but my heart rate, was up. And I think obviously that's due to being very stressed. It's a very stressful situation. And anyway, then I started getting slight contractions the next day in the afternoon, but very, very minuscule. And Vince knew from that moment that they would keep me in. And I said, oh look, you know, can I go home? It's nearly 5 o'clock. I feel like I'm out of the you know, the risks. And they said to me, you could go home and hopefully we'd hope you'd stay another week, that'd be ideal, and your waters can keep replenishing and they'll keep going and replenishing. And I didn't really think about it at the time. I just wanted to go home, not thinking I could be on the school run doing this. I guess that someone would have had to have done all that for me. But you know, when you just want to get out, you can't believe that you're going to have a baby. It's 8 weeks early. I didn't really go into my mind, to be honest. Luckily I had my hospital bag packed, even though everybody said, oh my god, you're packing it so early. Like, thank god I did. Thank god I did. So yeah, and then he went home in the evening because we'd have to rely on my mum-in-law and my mum and stepdad, and we don't have that childcare where people are willing to have them for overnight stays and for a massive amount of time. So it was all quite stressful. So he was like, look, I've got to get back. And I was like, that's fine. He goes, well, I will shower you, make you comfortable, don't worry. If you know, they said to me tomorrow, you know, we'll reevaluate whether we keep you in or not. But Vince reckons they were always going to keep me in. So yeah, and then it started getting to about 8, half 8 when the night started coming on, and the contractions become really quite intense. And I got a smart, this was on my birthday as well, by the way, 15th December. So I had my birthday in the hospital. So, and I got this smartwatch from Vince, and I was calculating the contractions, and they were every like 4 or 5 minutes. So I said it to them. They said, yeah, we can see. She said, they're not that strong though, you know, don't worry too much. And then they kept getting, it was thick and fast, like, oh my god, the pain was horrendous. And I got my smartwatch and I started timing myself, and it got to the point where it's every 2 minutes, and I knew when I was going to get one, you know, the feeling. I don't know how many people have timed their contractions, but I was doing this and I was stopping it at 2 minutes, and the pain was thick and fast coming on. I'm like, oh my god, the pain. The midwife, who was amazing, by the way, that was there my second day, she was there in the daytime. Sorry, my first day, she was there in the daytime. She was really good. She basically was like, oh, you know, don't worry, it's fine, you can do this. And I said, how far are the contractions? She said, well, like, looking at the machine, it's still 5 minutes, you know. You'll be okay, just breathe through it. And then I said, look, I need something. She goes, okay, we'll get the gas and air. I said, no, gas and air is not going to cut this. I said, I need something. They're like, okay. And I said, look, something's not right. So I said, let's call the, I think it was, I don't know if it was the matron or a head of midwifery, I'm not sure who it was, but she came in and she said, look, I'm going to do a spectrum. The only way of knowing what's going on is by doing that, because as far as we can see by your contractions, they're not coming on soon enough. And I said, well, look, I'm timing them, I'm sure they're every 2 minutes. And she said, look, let's have a look. She's done the spectrum. She said, you're only 1 centimetre. And I said, you're joking. I said, I can't be 1 centimetre. I must be dying. They were my words. I must be dying. And so she said, you know, I don't know what to say. And I said, well, you tell me why I'm in this much pain, because something's not right. Something's not right. And so yeah, she said, well, look, we've done the spectrum and you're 1 centimetre. Next minute, I'm howling in pain. She's like, right, okay, we'll go and get you some pethidine. So they've gone off to get the pethidine injection. And literally, before they even come back, I was screaming in pain. When I say screaming, I'm not screaming, I'm kind of like, ooh, you know how you're trying to hold it in, and you kind of zone out. And then this matron's rushed in and she's gone, okay, you know, I didn't like the matron, she wasn't very friendly. She was, out of everybody, everyone else was lovely, but she just, you know, maybe she had something going on at home, who knows, but she just wasn't very approachable. And she was like, I said, look, I think I'm having this baby. And she goes to me, you can't be. She said, because you're 1 centimetre, you're not having a baby. I said, look, I'm bleeding. And I said, look, at my hand. She goes, well, you've cut yourself, haven't you? Looked, and she said, oh, no, she said, oh my God, he's coming. And she literally pulled the red alarm. They come in with the trolley with the injection, not really realising what was going on. And of course it was too late. I couldn't have any pain relief. Next minute, I know I'm being told to push, and I've gone from 1 centimetre to 10 centimetre in 30 minutes. That's how quick it happened. And he was delivered at 10:47 on the 15th of December. I'm being told that obviously I've given him the best start, but his breathing could be affected, so don't be surprised that you can't hold him and he's got to be rushed off straight away. And I'm like, oh my God. And all I was thinking was, he's dead, like he's not alive. I just remember thinking, God, all right, darling, you've done very well. And yeah, so she basically have you done it? You don't really take dummies, do you? That's it. So yeah, she basically said, oh, I wasn't going to have this baby. I just believed I wasn't going to have the baby. And then what happened? So obviously he was born. Let's not forget that bit. And he came out breathing, crying even. I got to have him on me for about a minute, and it felt like seconds, but it was roughly about a minute. And he was just looking at me, just looking up at me, like, hi mummy, happy birthday. So yeah, 32 weeks and 2 days he was born. And he was £4.2. So quite a good size, to be fair. He probably would have been over £8. As you know, though, I had a planned C-section for I think it was the 2nd of February, so he was due on the 6th. So yeah, and I had the baby, and they did take him off to special care. And I went down to see him when my partner wasn't there either, by the way. I held the midwife's hand, a really nice friendly one, and did it on my own. And then my partner came and was like, oh my God, you've done it, it's quite emotional. And then one of the consultants came in. No, he was a doctor who worked in the special care baby unit, and he came out and he said, I think you've had sepsis infection. Could you not smell the infection coming off you? And I said, well, no, of course not. Like, I've just been having a baby. Like, I don't think you would you? But a bit of a silly thing to say, but he did. And then, we went and saw him. He was in a open top bed at this point on a monitoring machine with lots and lots and lots of wires. Lots of wires. I can't even explain what all the wires were, but he was obviously on oxygen. He had an oxygen up his nose, tubes everywhere. He was put on antibiotics, had a tube up his nose, I think at this point, I can't remember. I might have not done. Held him, got to hold him, and that he was all stable and everything, was going well. He was doing really well, and it went on from there. Really went really positive. He come off oxygen in a day. He kept pulling his mask off all day apparently, didn't want it on, and then he managed to do it on his own. He come off antibiotics. He went on the UV light. He only needed one treatment, which is amazing. They showed me the graph, and they said a lot of special care babies need 2 treatments, not 1. Just be aware of that prem babies go forward and go back. And obviously for me this was horrendous. I just felt like I'm quite proactive, and I like to see things progressing. So I felt quite, obviously he had his mum's genes, and he was like me, wanted to push through, and he did amazing. And yeah, so he come off the light, he stayed in a hot cot, and then he started maintaining his temperature, and they turned it down massively. And then he went into an open cot, which was amazing. Once he went in there, I felt like even all he had was a wire to monitor his heart rate and stuff. He was on caffeine, which they do with babies, and it was up, so they took him off that, and then he came back down to normal, so he didn't need that. And then what happened? He just progressed really. I was going in there. He was in there for nearly 3 weeks. He was in there Christmas Day. I had to go there every day. I exclusively pumped my breast milk because I didn't want to breastfeed for long. It's not for me. And I did with Reuben for about 3 weeks fully, and 6 weeks I did both. But I had in my head, I'm going to probably formula feed, but I will try some breastfeeding just to give them even it for the first few weeks with the colostrum and that. I had already bought the pump and everything, luckily. But I read up that your breast milk actually is really beneficial to premature babies because their tummies are so immature, and I just thought, well, it's the best thing for him. Sorry, the quicker he gains weight, the quicker he'll get out, because they have to be seen to be gaining weight, which he did. What else? Sorry, I'm trying to think about what else to say. Yeah, and they so they monitor his weight. I think it was every 2 or 3 days as well. But yeah, he lost obviously a bit, and then he gained. When he come home, he massively gained weight. But yeah, so I was giving him the breast milk for 3 weeks fully. I was going up there every day. I had a percentage of milk to give. I think it was like 260 or something a day he was currently on. They up it, so they start them on say 40 mil and then they up it. And yeah, we went up to, I think we left about 60 mil when we left there. So he was doing well. And I was getting to the point where it was getting quite hard, and they were saying, why don't you move in if you want to breastfeed? And I said, well, look, I'm not all for breastfeeding, but I kind of feel differently this time. And he did latch, managed to get him to latch. And they said, well, look, you're better off moving in here, really, if you really want to go for it. And I said, no, I can't do that. 1, it's not good for my mental health. 2, I've got another son at home who's currently on Christmas holidays. I said, and it's not really beneficial. Then, obviously, because I was pretty much sleeping through the night, I was having to pump in the night. And I was getting up and I was hardly getting anything. And then I got told that the only way forward would be to pump every 2 hours. And at that point, I thought, this isn't for me. It's exhausting. I don't want to do this anyway. But, yeah, he had my breast milk for 3 weeks. And then I came home, and I think the overall stress and anxiety of having a premature baby at home, my milk just dropped massively. And being that he was prem, even though he was latching, I felt like I couldn't see what he was getting, and my anxiety was just going very high. So then I luckily had a prescription letter for the SMA Gold Prem 2, which he's on, which I don't think agrees with him that well, but he is gaining weight on it. And yeah, he's got a prescription for that, which we go and get. And then at night, I'm currently giving him Cow and Gate Hungry baby milk the last 3 nights, and he's doing well on that. But yeah, obviously I will further update you on his feeding routine, kind of getting a routine now. Obviously just general, I've got to show you the room, those things really, and what I'm doing to get him into some kind of routine between day and night. So yeah, long story, but yeah, I had the crisis team then at home. They came out once a week for 6 weeks to weigh him. They did leave me for 2 weeks because he is gaining weight rapidly. When I say rapidly, he is now £11.7, I think. £11.9, something like that. I've got my own scales as well. But yeah, they discharged me now because he's just gaining so well. But yeah, I think that's it really. And I'll do more in-depth video about him and how I found having a premature baby, how I've dealt with it mentally. Yeah, it's all pretty positive, but I am real. I am definitely a real mum here, and I just say how things are. So don't expect me to sugarcoat motherhood or sugarcoat a premature baby, because I can't. There are difficulties. So yeah, I'd love you to subscribe. So yeah, the next video I will do a more in-depth about him coming home, his weight gain, feeds, bottles, because I had to change bottles, everything about him. That's what will be my next video, which I'll get up. But thank you so much for watching. I'm just going to go and collect my other son from school in a bit. Normally when he decides to nap, when I have to go and get my other child. But yeah, he's got his dummy. And it will rest, don't you? But love to you all. Speak soon.